Do you ever remember the boring assignments back in school? Well, in this project, we make creative, engaging alternatives. Today's assignment. Create a syllabus for an obscure college class, ideally one that doesn't already exist and has no reason to exist. Your syllabus should cover your grading system, a brief outline on what will be covered during the semester, and many other class policies. Using the contents of the syllabus, you should then create a PowerPoint to go through the document with the class so that everyone for sure understands what the class will entail. You should spend some time in the presentation giving a little more context on each of the topics you will be covering.
All right, are we ready? Okay, welcome to Econ 4655, Constructing Ideal Economic Societies. So I know Gen Z has a hard time paying attention, so I have a screenshot of Subway Surfers on every slide.
If you go through the slides really fast, does it play out a video?
No, it's the exact same screenshot.
No, Austin! I have to take off a point for that.
Yeah, that's a point of engagement law.
Sorry about that, pals. Alright, first of all, before we start, please make sure you are in the right class. Econ 4655 is often mistaken for Econ 3655, so if you're a student of that class, please leave. It's another class. I don't teach it, so I don't know. I just know sometimes it gets mixed up. But okay, this slide is to remind me to pass out the syllabus, so I'm going to pass out this link to everybody.
Hang on, I'm Eldamir. I'm taking this class. Are you a professor here too?
Yeah, kinda. I am. This is my side gig, so in another class that I'm in, Luck with Brian Beffa, I need to make a whole bunch of money, so that's kind of what this is for. It's just, this is my side hustle. I'll reasonably need to make like $15,000 by like week 2, so
well, okay,
kind of getting that money together with this class.
I need to make it clear. You can re-roll at any point after week 2 in the class.
That's the only way I'm going to pass the class, because it's so dumb, but it's like, okay, yeah, this is my attempt of making money. But okay, everybody should have
Just stab your eye and do a...
Everybody should have the syllabus now, so I'm going to have it on the side. Everybody has a little link now. Okay, time to... I sent it. It's okay if it's locked. I'll just show it on this side.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Austin. I'll be your professor for the duration of this class. I'm more than a professor. I'm a successful author, businessman, and I operate my own payment service and digital storefront. With all this money-making experience, my students should have no qualms in abiding to my advice. All my past students have loved my class, and I'm so excited to meet you too.
You should easily be able to pay for Mr. Beffa's class. Author, business owner.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping that pans out. In this economy, it's really rough. So I actually have like 5 or 6 jobs just to make ends meet, and your class is not helping me any. So,
well, that goes into your class, doesn't it?
Yes. So this is a required course for all people. So even if you're in the magic schools or the English, yeah, you need to take this course. It's required. And by the way, this is a required course. It's a 4,000 level.
Are there prereqs?
Yeah, they're prereqs. We'll go over those. This is a required course that will discuss organizational strategies integral to ideal economic conditions. Yay! We will cover how we're going to maximize the metrics as GDP, stock market returns, and shareholder value. Yay! You'll be equipped to build social organizations, blah, blah, blah. Prerequisites, Econ 3500, Introduction to Worker Exploitation, Econ 3300, Legal Frameworks for Optimal Corporate Growth, and the lab for that course. If you're missing any of these classes, please talk to me after class. Not right now. That'd be inappropriate. Class structure. I just copied and pasted this. I'm just going to read it word for word because it's basically a contract. Honestly, it's kind of complicated. Okay. Each week, students will be expected to have read the book of the week, and we're going to talk about what that means. Monday and Wednesday classes will be lectures on the book material, and Friday will be the exam day. We'll use book of the week as a common exemplifier to generate profit from students. Students may only take the Friday exam if and only if they can provide proof of purchase of their own copy of the book of the week. Only receipts from ostpip.com bookstore will be accepted. The exams will offer no extra credit but will be curved. The goal of the curve of the exams is to ensure that at least 1/3 of the students fail as to keep demand for this class high. For returning students, please note that our book of the week list has changed and students will be required to purchase the new minimally edited editions to be eligible for the Friday exams. In the event of any missed school days, students will need to purchase a copy of the lecture recording from my website, ostpip.com. This policy includes all Mondays and Wednesdays between the start of this class and finals week. In the event of any missed Friday exams, it will be your responsibility to communicate with other students who have also missed said Friday to come up with enough money to convince me to host an exam makeup day. Each exam is 50 minutes, but I will demand a rate of $100 per hour, a commuting fee of $29.99, and a convenience fee of $49.99. So it's your responsibility to come up with that money.
Raising my hand.
Dylan.
So the exam is 50 minutes, but you demand an hourly rate. Will you only bill us for the 50 minutes that you're there, or do you round up or down?
So I'm gonna need a full 60 minutes because of a bathroom break at the end.
So you have like commuting fee.
So if let's say you missed a particular Friday, it would probably cost you as a collective a sum total of what's that? close to $200. So if you guys can round that up, I'm cool to come down and retake any Friday exams.
Very nice.
So hopefully that sounds fair. Just try to be there. Hello.
Do you accept credit?
All of my dues, I take cash, I take credit, debit. I also take money through your JoSS or your lunch account. Just let me know.
Can this come out of our student loans?
Lunch points.
Yeah, I think you have to do that through JoSS though, and it's not my responsibility to care. So just call somebody else or hire a lawyer. Okay. Any other questions? Because this is very, very serious. Okay, I'm not joking about this. Office hours. I'm a very busy and successful man. I work 3 jobs. It's now 5, so it's a little outdated. I made this a few days ago, so I'm a hustler, as they say.
Sure.
But I will do my best to accommodate my slower students. I can be free for a paid office hour session anytime in the following time blocks. Use ospip.com for scheduling office hours. Fees change from 99 cents per minute to 2.99 cents per minute, depending on my mood. Like if I'm in a bad mood, I'm going to charge you a little bit more. So these are my times that I'm available. So 7 p.m. to 8:45 p.m., 1:15 a.m. to 2:25 a.m., 1:15 a.m., 2:25 a.m., 4:15 a.m. I'm an early bird, so early bird gets the worm. And then hold on, let me say this first: do not contact me on the weekends for any reason. Otherwise, even if you just request, it's gonna be a $5.99 fee, and I'm not even gonna talk to you. Yes, question.
Yes. Quickly just went to ospip.com, and I didn't see anywhere to buy books or schedule office hours.
It's currently down, so I had to. I'm currently at leave of absence of my website designing business. Kind of embarrassing, but that should be up in the next few days or so as I get reinstated at that job. Even though I'm the CEO, I had to lay off some of the employees and myself included. The economy's kind of rough right now, but hopefully the skills you learn in this class, you go into the world and you make the world a better place. Because right now everybody's kind of struggling.
So it ranges depending on your mood. Is there a way to like know what the price is going to be before I commit to it, or? Like, is there somewhere I can go to like check what your current mood is? Like,
you can send me an email and I'll tell you my rate. Unless it's a weekend, then I'm going to charge you a $5 fee to tell you to fuck off until. Sorry, I'm not allowed to say that because I'm going to charge you. And then I'm not going to tell you anything.
So if I send you the email, are you already billing me for the time that it takes to read and respond it?
No, it's I charge you based on Zoom minute.
Okay.
What if I send an email on Friday but you read it on Saturday?
Like, realize you can't be as successful as I am if you're not punctual. So like this time I'm free. I'm looking at my email. So if you email me, I'm going to see it. If it's in this range.
If I email you at 11:01 p.m. on Friday.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to see it. And then I might see it on the weekend. I might accidentally charge you that fee, but you can let me know that I was being a dickhead. Sorry, I'm not allowed to say that. I'm me being mean. Maybe not fair, but I'm going to try my best to be fair. I'm a busy man, so sometimes that might slip through.
Sir, have you heard of Squarespace? I hear they make good websites.
So Squarespace costs money. It's like $9.99, and the free trial doesn't last very long. So I'm making it myself. Again, small business owner, and so
Squarespace usually markets themselves towards small businesces.
Okay, but I'm not going to pay them their fee. I can do it myself for free. Sure. You're going to learn some of those structures in this course, and it's really cool that Squarespace is trying to make money, raise GDP, and all that. But like, I'm not paying for it. The questions are free right now. They're free. You can ask me whatever you want now. It'll cost you later. Okay.
So prior to Monday, so like if I send you something at like 6:59 p.m. on Monday, does that count as weekend?
No, it doesn't. Okay. Weekends mean Saturday, Sunday. By the way, I'll put on ospip.com if I'm in a different time zone, because that will change when weekends are. And so I will expect you to actually be mindful of my time.
Okay, and are you going to be going off of the current times listed there? Will you be doing those times in your current time zone?
These are relative to me. You are the student. It is your job to know if it's my office hours or not. Realize there's a lot of giggling out there, but this is really generous. This is an hour of office hours per day, except for the weekends. So like, there's some snickering, but I'm really sticking my head out for you guys. That's why I have a really high rating.
Fridays is actually very reasonable.
It's because I have no friends and nobody wants to hang out with me on Fridays. Probably because I have that mindset grind set. So yeah. Do we have any other questions? I didn't know this would be such a controversial section. I thought it would just be kind of fast. These are for the slower students. So if you're talking now, you're probably one of those, and it's okay. But I guess I'll have your names memorized promptly. So week 1, Friday today. Today's the end of the week. We're just going to be talking about the syllabus, introduction to ospip.com bookstore. Again, that's kind of down right now, but I don't have any screenshots of the development. And you're gonna need to see the necessary sign necessary documents just to participate in this class. So right here, this slide is to go on ospip.com to just go take a look at the website. Getting your permissions now to open your phones and bookmark that website because you're probably gonna need it. There's a whole bunch of ads. You can just click out of them, and some of them are unskippable, but it's like 30 seconds max. As you know, it's currently down right now, so you're not going to see those. So right now is your kind of an easy time to get that bookmarked without seeing any ads. Okay, well, first of all, everybody see the website? Everybody got it bookmarked? We should be good. Okay, cool. So week 2, I'm just following the syllabus week by week, and I just kind of copied and paste, and we're just going to be talking about the book of the week, and yeah, that's basically every single week we're just talking about a book. So in week 2, starting up next, book of the week is Metrics of Success. Here's the book cover. This is the 3rd edition, and it costs $149.99 on OSPIP.com. We're going to talk about why GDP, shareholder value, and stock market value are all the only really important metrics of evaluating the health of an economy. Economic output measuring is super smart for societies. We kind of talk about how other metrics like societal happiness, health, wellness, like they're kind of overrated, but they don't really tell us how the economy's doing. So we're kind of good to just ignore those and kind of use those as a quote unquote dump stat when it comes to an economy. Also, by the way, I wrote all these books, so if you have any questions or notes to the author, you can just contact me. It's totally cool. So for week 3,
if we leave positive reviews for your books, will that count as extra credit?
There's no reviews, and yeah, I mean, I guess you can talk about it online, but if I hear about it, I might have to pull you aside. Week 3. Week 3, Human Psychology Returning the Mind to Tabula Rasa for Economic Growth. Here's the book cover again by Austin Pipkins. This is the 4th edition. I've taught this class like 11 semesters now, so I've gotten pretty good at teaching this stuff. So some of these are going to have high editions, and if you're returning to the class, you're probably going to have to get some of the updated versions. But again, I'm going to need to see those receipts. So if you didn't save them, I have to buy them again for the Friday exams. We're going to discuss how natural elements of human psychology can get in the way of economic progress, like these emotions. Like I crossed out a lot of the ones that don't really help with the economy. We talk about how we can get rid of those, like through learned helplessness. How can we use brainwashing to our advantage, to extracting wealth and energy from our... And we talked about this in the prerequisite class about exploiting workers. So this is kind of a recap on that, and I'm going to expect you to have read all that. Pretty hefty book, 4th edition, but we're basically trying to reduce people to a very receptive state for brainwashing. And then week 4, manipulating sociology to make work meaningful. How can we design the environment to make economic production everybody's top priority? A discussion on how we distance workers from distractions like nature, and how do we bring them closer to the goals of the workplace. The big thing here is like humans are social animals, so we need to make sure that people are getting all of their social interactions from work and work only. How do we distance people from their friends, from their family, make it so that life is only worth living for like their work environment, giving them perks and making their office space really beautiful, making so that they have comfortable shoes so they can work in the warehouse for up to 16 hours a day, so on and so forth. And there's some cultural, I think we kind of talked about culture in later ones, but like getting rid of the weekends, things like that.
If we are to get rid of the weekends, right?
Yeah.
Does that mean that contacting you on the weekend would then be without a fee because it's not outside of your, work time?
So I would designate Saturday and Sunday as a no contact period, and that's probably going to be for a 6th or 7th job that I get, but I would let you know in future semesters if you repeat the class.
Okay.
Duvnik, I noticed you didn't ask any questions about the office hours slide, so I'm assuming you're going to pass first try.
Yes.
So
I will.
Yeah, I haven't said this, but the fees for all the books listed are in the fees column, so if you're counting, it's going to be... Ooh, pack it up. Hope everybody has a side job for this. Week 5, book of the week is maximizing the cost of living and GDP. Infrastructural inefficiencies are the most efficient. This time we have 2 books of the week. I'll expect you to have read both of those over the weekend. I know you guys are just kids, so like maybe you guys don't have jobs, but just read the books. Basically, these chapters are about how do we make houses bigger, more expensive, cars bigger, more expensive, cars required, make roads longer, food expensive. There's kind of a like towards the end, I talk about an ideally efficient society would be one of where all people are equidistant to each other, where we destroy all trees, all rocks, harvest all resources. The entire surface of the earth is one massive road. Everybody has a car, and you're commuting. Your job site is on the equidistant opposite side of the earth, and all of the resources are perfectly scattered about. So you'd have to make like the longest path possible to get all of your groceries, and everybody has to do this. So it's like one large conga line of getting resources in the worst possible way. And so that's kind of where we get into like how infrastructural inefficiency actually makes GDP skyrocket. Because if you need, say, 10,000 gallons of gas just to get back and forth to work on a weekly basis, very good for the economy.
So making it inefficient for the consumer, right?
Yes.
How do we make How do we make it so inefficient for the consumer? And this might be getting into the weeds of week 5. But how do we make it so inefficient for the consumer, but still make it efficient for the actual people who are providing the goods and services? Because for them to make the most money and grow the GDP, they need to be able to efficiently move stuff, right?
Yeah, that's really cute. I can tell you haven't taken this class before, but how GDP is the thing that matters the most. And so, like, let's say that we have two companies. One company is able to do the product in 1 step, and then another company can do the same product in 10 steps. Well, the first company doesn't make a lot of GDP because it only did 1 step, but so much transactions happen in the other company. GDP skyrockets if we can make even production inefficient.
I'm starting to see it.
Oh yeah, it's all right. It's all right. And I am one of the best authors on the planet, so hopefully it's as punctual as it's ever been. And that was like my second edition of the book, so hopefully we should be looking good on that one. I see some bright future in you, Beth.
Got a little bit bored. I was reading your Rate My Professor reviews, and
hey, don't no. No.
Okay. One of these says that you had an episode a couple semesters ago.
Pause. I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about that in a future slide, and I'm going to come back to you and I'm going to ask if I answered your question. Is that clear? Okay. So for week 6, teacher reports are due at the end of this week. Please be sure to submit a favorable survey review for my class for a $2.99 coupon from auspip.com. Failure to let me proofread your rating may result in an extra fee of $14.99. So this is what the coupon looks like. Don't try to use this coupon code. It's already been used by a student 4 semesters ago, and I did have to press charges because this is coupon fraud. To respond to your preemptive question, Mr. Giannino, this is a live screenshot of Rate My Professor, and it's a 5 out of 5. If this is 13,000 reviews, all 5 out of 5s. Okay, so if you saw another Rate My Professor, it was probably for Austin Pipkins of South Columbia University. That is not me, and that episode was not mine. Okay, so make sure that you're using the right Rate My Professor page. Does that answer your question, Jeannie? Now.
Dylan, did you fucking predict that? How did you know
did you?
Yes, sir. That answers my question.
Thank you. Now, week 6, the actual content of the week. Book of the week is Minimizing the Minimum Wage and its Abolition. And this is basically just talking about how it should be the freedom of corporations and workers to negotiate contracts where they can work for the least amount possible. And here's the book cover. This is actually one of my ex-students who took this class, and so I got rights to take a picture of them at a protest. I'll go for the protest. It was super cool. We got a whole bunch of people together protesting the minimum wage. And, like, the big thing in this book is, like, we talk about the pros and cons of the minimum wage. The pros, they're not a lot. I'm not gonna lie. But like, if in between the time between abolition of the minimum wage and actually having, we need to make sure that immigrants can for sure work less than minimum wage, and we need to make sure that women are paid less for equal work. And we kind of talk about that in the Women Week, but I've got a book on when women work, so we'll talk about that too. So week 7, book of the week is Generational Wealth, Generational Problems. This one, I don't have a picture of the book cover. I just had all these funny memes, and I thought they were really funny, trying to connect with your generation. But yeah, so when people are really strapped for cash, that means that we're extracting as much wealth out of them, and so the corporations can really produce well in GDP growth. So large unproductive collections of capital, just not very good for the economy. Week 8, this is more of an announcement. Just because this is midterms week does not excuse you from class, nor will it stop class from its routine, from your schedule. If you have a problem with this, please purchase lecture recordings from auspip.com and or arrange a Friday retest. This class does not have a midterm. Do not ask me, $5 fee. Okay, so many students throughout the semesters have asked me, does this class have midterm? The answer is no. This isn't the one free time I'm telling you. And if you ask me, I will tell you, no, we're not having one, but I am going to charge your JoSS account or your student lunch account or whatever payment you have on file with me. I'm going to charge you $4.99. Okay, any questions? Everybody, I swear to God, I'm going to make everybody say it. We do not have a midterm in this class. Everybody, come on. Dylan, Gino, say it.
We do not have a midterm in this class.
Okay, thank you. Week 8, book of the week is Being Sick Isn't So Bad with Healthcare and DEI initiatives to invigorate a chronically ill workforce. And so here we kind of talk about how we can use how we can sicken the population, get the most out of the billing process, make it as complicated as possible. All of these are GDP steps. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. We want as money flowing between as many hands as possible. Look at this productive worker. This old man. How do we keep them working for as long as possible? And how do we exploit DEI to make sure that these people are still in the economy? In this book, I actually interviewed the author of Delay, Deny, Defend, and they actually give some big pointers for us on how we can exploit the sick population of the world for private gains. So that's really cool that I got in contact with him. In week 9, the book of the week is Homeless to Hopeful and Anti-Homeless Infrastructure Debunked. I thought that's the funniest one. The largest economies often have the largest homeless populations, and for good reasons. How can we continue GDP growth while dealing with the scum of society? And so in these books, we kind of just talk about, like, why do homeless people exist? How do we profit off of them? How do we make mob grinders to get all their stuff? How do we make charities and siphon money out of those charities to make money? And this one's more of like there's like a cultural stigma against anti-homeless infrastructure, but really it's to make our cities look better for workers. Because like if there's like shit and piss everywhere, like nobody wants to go to work in that environment. So this kind of just debunks a lot of the propaganda from leftists about like we'll talk about in Luke 9. I don't want to get into it.
Super quick question: having your name kind of right under the picture of the person lying down on the bench kind of makes it seem like that's you as a homeless person lying down on the bench.
That person is one of my ex-students. He was there to demonstrate, hey, when people are like, oh, this bar prevents homeless people from sleeping on it. No, you can very clearly sleep on it. And I have a student, like that's a picture of my student being like, oh yeah, like I can sleep here. So like these leftists be like, oh, we're trying to kick out homeless people. It's a whole bunch of controversy. And we talked about that. That's just I'm the author, so I have my name there. Yeah, but that's good note. I'm gonna write it down because I'm a hustler. I gotta take all the feedback I can, good and bad. So maybe from 4th edition,
I'll have you for the next edition to revise the cover.
Ooh, I'm having heartburn. I might need to contact my medical insurance for that. Week 10, book of the week, immigrant worker paradox solved. And so this one kind of talks about like how are immigrants stealing our jobs or are they productive workers? This one is like definitively, yes, they are good for the economy. Make them work, make it hard, make it illegal, make them sweat. Make them do really backbreaking labor for like balls cheap. Honestly, immigrants, like I know that they get a bad rep, but it's controlled opposition. We really love the fact that there's brown people out in the fields who can't even speak English doing all the hard work for basically nothing. So the more of that we can get, the better. And by making it challenging, it's like it almost like gives them like a satisfaction. Like, oh yeah, I can climb that fence. I can work in the strawberry fields. I can do it for cheap. I can send all my money through processing fees and send it to family in Mexico. Week 11, book of the week, race divides us more than class. And this one kind of talks about how people may think that like, hey, like I'm really greedy and I want all the power to myself, but actually no, yes, you're greedy, but it's because you're white and it's because maybe you're black. And like we talk about how actually if we focus on how race divides us, there's a lot less conflict with the economy. And so you can kind of see like ways that we can implement white supremacy to make black people realize, hey, race is the bigger issue here. It's not actually the economic factors. And there's a book, A Field Guide to White Supremacy. This is a good book about how we can be better white supremacists and make black people really work better for our economy, and don't question the status quo because that happens sometimes in leftist circles. We want to be aware of that, and this book talks about that. Week 12, book of the week is When Women Work. Oh, by the way, I do want to say, yeah, this book is $10 off for all black people, and your skin color has to be darker than this hex code of the star color. So that's what the note says. Your skin color has to be darker than the hex code of that star. If it is, I'll give you $10 discount.
Wait, okay, so obviously like different parts of the body have different like shades. Are we taking like the uniform total average shade? Because like
it's gonna be the average.
Because like your palm is like a lot.
Yeah, no,
lighter.
the palms don't count because like black people they have like those white palms. I'm not gonna be a meanie and
but if I
do
take
that.
like but if I
it'll be an average.
But if he shows like his hair, which is clearly dark, I mean that's a part of the body, right? Or it has to be.
I mean, you can have black hair, but that doesn't mean your skin tone is going to be darker than that hex code.
Good.
Week 12, we talk about when women work, and so same deal. If you're a woman, you know, $139.99 doesn't apply to trans women. You got to be an actual woman. Oh, sorry, that may violate DEI. It's kind of confusing now that Trump's president. Like, the university told me I didn't have to put a DEI initiatives because Donald Trump was president, so I didn't. Anyway, when women work, and we talk about how pregnancy is both a good thing and a bad thing for the economy because, like, on the plus side, it makes women have to work even more. It makes them kind of slaves to the system, but in another way, like, it takes them out of the workforce for a few months, and that's kind of inconvenient. And also, we know that women who don't have kids work a lot longer, which is really, really good. And so we kind of talk about this consensual sex myth about like how like two adults can consent, but they're not really asking if it's good for the economy. So we talk about how we can manipulate women into doing what's best for the economy. Because sometimes it's better for women to reproduce and others it's not. And so it really should be a question of what benefits GDP, what benefits shareholder value, so on and so forth.
Sure.
Quick question.
I see you have a picture of Mr. Jeff Bezos denying the consent. Is that like only he can make that? Who makes that call?
So I picked Jeff Bezos because he's an inspirational person. We use him a lot as an example because he's so inspirational. Like he's my idol. I worship this man. But he kind of like represents the economy in my mind. Like what's best for Jeff Bezos is ultimately best for us all. Same thing with Elon Musk, Bill Gates, all of them. Well, maybe not so much Bill Gates because he gives money to poor people. I don't remember where it is. I think it's in the sociology unit. How philanthropy is really a bad thing.
So who gets to make the call? And how does that work? So, like, do you have to make a certain amount of money to be able to be somebody who can anti-consent?
It's more like as future managers of America that my students are like wanting to be. Like you as a manager should be able to tell, hey, I have this woman on my team. How do I exploit the most out of her Like, I don't care if she has kids, like, is the kid better for the economy? Because sometimes it is. And other times it's like, no, I actually really need her on this project. I really need her in the cornfields. I need her in the factory. I need her on a spreadsheet.
Okay.
This talks about the pros and cons of pregnancy and how we make women work when women work.
If I were a manager, I would have direct control over the reproductive rights of any women.
And there's a whole section on Confucianism of how like modern Confucianism is like. In old Confucianism, it's like women look up to their husbands, husbands look up to their so on and so forth. And in modern society, it's more like everybody looks up to their manager, and then the managers look up to the CEOs, and so. Like, really, women should be giving their all to their managers, and then their managers decide what's best for the economy.
So, being the manager, you kind of get to make the call of, like, do I make this ugly woman work every day of her life for the rest of her life and never have children, and make this not so ugly woman, actually very fine-looking woman, maybe, bear more children so that we can continue raising the workforce?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Precisely. We talk about like this. The decision matrices are all in this book. Super cool. Okay, next
Very
one.
good.
Book of the week is The Humble Pizza Party, 4th edition. Happy workers are the most productive, and so how do we make them feel appreciated? Like, how do we make them feel appreciated by giving them the least? And so it's super important that they feel happy. And so, as a note, on Wednesday, we'll actually be having a pizza party, a practice pizza party to show not only the effectiveness, but also what are the key elements to make sure that a pizza party is really good. So with Pizza Party Day, I will expect everybody to bring a $29.99 fee just so we can celebrate. And this is a picture of last semester's pizza party. Oh my gosh, look at my old students. Anybody recognize any of them? They're all kind of your seniors, but it's okay. Look at them. Oh, they're so happy. Attendance, we're going to try to make attendance mandatory, but I don't know. Kind of depends on how I feel. Number 14. New as of this semester, this is a 1st edition, everybody! Yay, celebrate, pat on the back. I know, I'm such an accomplished author. I released this one in November last year. Leveraging AI and its potential. How can economies use AIs moving forward to make workers more efficient at what they do? How do we make it so that workers have to compete with AI? So they're like, hey, like if AI can do this thing for pennies on the dollar, okay, I'll do it for half pennies on the dollar, right? So how do we make it so that workers have to actively compete and sell every fiber of their being to just compete with new, ever-changing AI? Actually, this entire book is written by AI, but I'm going to profit off of it anyway. So that's just an example that I use in the book about how we can use AI to make more money in the world. Week 15. Monday will be reserved for networking. Young people, young professionals like yourselves need to be given ample opportunities. Pitch yourselves to potential future colleagues. This meet and greet will be just for that. There's a meet and greet, $29.99. This is just to go through the door. I expect you to be in your full suit and tie, LinkedIn profile ready, all of that, and you just basically talk to your friends in the class. Like, you know how like in other classes it's like, hey, we're gonna spend like the first week to like get to know each other. Yeah, that's good. We say that for week 15. So hopefully you have your business portfolios up to date, and then you can meet and greet with maybe potential coworkers, potential future managers. Let's make this semester great. Week 15, Wednesday, Friday. This is basically going to be review. We're reviewing the content and preparing for the final exam. Attendance will still be mandatory. This is going to be basically how it looks like. Everybody's just working on their review packets, and I'm going to be circling around with my big booty, perching it up on other people's desks while I'm answering questions to people. So, all right. And then week 16, our final exam is scheduled to take place in Toomey Hall Room 116. The topics will be a random selection of topics covered in this course. The testing center will require a testing fee of $319.99, so please be prepared. This is typically cash, check, or credit. It doesn't come out of JOSS, doesn't come out of lunch accounts, so be ready for that. Have a productive summer break after that. That's not really free right now because we're in our first week, but if you're looking at the syllabus, I have that note in there just in case you're still reviewing that with this moldy-ass piece of paper that's been stuck in your backpack this whole time. Reminder to students to sign the agreement on the last page of the syllabus. Everybody turn to the last page of the syllabus. Flip, 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 flip. Okay. Basically, please read this statement and decide of your own free will to agree to its terms. Failure to sign this will result in your dismissal from this course and leave you ineligible to complete an economics degree. I, the student, agree to pay all required fees as listed by Austin Pipkins for the duration of the 5-month course. I, the student, understand that it's my responsibility to cover all fees at the point of sale. I, the student, understand that expected fees and prices may change at any time and are subject to change without notice. Fees and prices may change, happen retrospectively without in need of reason at the discretion of Professor Austin Pipkins, and it will be the responsibility of I, the student, to cover the cost of the new items. Upon the completion of paying of all fees, I am only eligible for credit of this course if I meet the rigorous exam standards set by Professor Austin Pipkins. Only a grade of 70% will grant me a passing score. I hereby forfeit my right to sue or take any legal action against Professor Austin Pipkins and the university he worked for at the time for the rest of his life. My life. Oops. It's okay. For my life, for like the student's life, yeah. I also agree to pay a $39.99 charge for processing this agreement to be paid at auspex.com/legal fees. You're basically just going to go there, fill it out there, sign and date, and then like rip off your sheet and then pass it to me, and I'll stamp it once I get this confirmation from auspex.com. So, any questions?
Yeah. So the picture,
No, that's not full.
the picture that you had like 2 slides back, Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's E-Man, not Toomey.
Okay, smart Alec, Duvenick. I don't know where this is. This is just a picture of a random hall in MST. So sorry, I didn't get the right room. I'm doing my best. I'm not paid a lot to do this job.
Is there a fee for that?
No, there's not a fee for this. You pay tuition. That's like what we're here for.
Okay.
Like I'm not here to price
Yeah, I heard earlier you take constructive criticism, so I'm just telling you.
No, I do.
Have a little bit more situational attention to detail when creating your slides. That's all.
Yes, I'm aware. I took the feedback and I'm choosing to throw it away. Yes,
this is more of a suggestion along the lines of your books. You said that for students who are retaking the course, almost always, if not always, completely necessary to buy a new copy of the book because you released a new edition. Do you ever run into issues of like people trying to pass off like old receipts or things of that nature?
So it's actually okay for you to use old receipts if it's the same edition, because sometimes I don't get around to it. But if you're trying to pass off an old receipt for an old edition for the current new edition, I'm going to say you can take the exam, and then I'm going to mark you 0 because you tried to get past the system, and that's not fair.
Gotcha.
So
okay. Well, what I was going to suggest to you, maybe instead of creating edition 9 of a book, you could just rebrand it. Same book, different title.
I keep the same title so that it's searchable, and I don't change my syllabus too much. But I do change the edition so that everybody knows that I have to get a new one. And then I do go in and I change some of the sentence structures. So like if it would be good for the economy if you had 10 kids. I rephrase it to say if you have 10 kids, it would be good for the economy. And so it's not the same text. I change the order of some of the sentences, and like sometimes I move the chapter summaries around a little bit. But it's all basically the same thing. But I need to make sure that everybody's reading the same thing, if you know what I'm saying.
I'm a little bit light on funds. Is there any way you could make this class a little bit more affordable?
So first of all, that's not my job. So I'm doing this for free because I care about my students. I have a 5 out of 5 on rating my professor. I would contact either FAFSA. I would apply for grants, apply for scholarships, or I would talk to Bank of America, Chase Bank, Citibank, apply for one of their loans. And sometimes the rates are as low as 7% APR, and just see what you can do out there in the free market. Like, come on, guys. Where this is already Econ 4000
and this class is required for
all majors.
For all majors.
All majors. Yeah. So like I doubt. So just a few years ago, it was only required for Econ majors, but it's basically for all of them now.
Given this is required for all majors, are there any other professors that teach this course that we're able to transfer into?
No. So the reason why this is required for all majors is because I petitioned 2 things. First of all, all students at MST and all university students globally should have to take my course. And second, I should be the only one to be able to take that course because I'm the only one who actually studies this shit. Sorry, stuff. So because look at me, I am the one who writes all these books. I am the only one in the world who actually knows what they're talking about when it comes to this stuff. So obviously I'm the only guy that's really actually enough to actually speak on these topics. Honestly, if somebody was trying to sell you this class, I would not believe them if it's not me.
Do you have a total price list? What's the total?
All of it's in the syllabus if you were paying attention, but again, I'm probably going to see you in office hours, Dylan. In the fees column, just add this up and apply your blacks only and whites or women's only discounts. I'll include this fee, and so you can add up those fees and just see. I didn't really care to. Not my job.
Let's see. Let's look at the required fees here.
There's only one that's optional, the $14.99, if you don't let me proofread your teacher review. Well, the books aren't required. The payment receipt is required. That's really the big thing here.
Okay, so what is to stop a student, like a group of students, like collectively purchasing one book and then making copies of that receipt and then maybe fudging the numbers to like make it look like that was theirs? Do you go and verify each individual receipt?
Yeah, I do. So you know how at stores they have like the little checkout gun?
Correct.
Like to scan things. I have one of those. I'll scan the receipt and it'll show me who on ospip.com paid for that receipt.
I see.
And if it's not your face, I'm going to tell you can take the exam, but you're not going to get any credit for it.
I see. So I see the weekly schedule: Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm not seeing a time.
Oh, I mean, it's exactly this time. So our class tends to start at 10 p.m. and it'll typically run to 11 p.m.
Okay. It is currently Tuesday,
that does overlap with office hours.
Yeah,
does it?
On
Which one?
A couple of the days.
Yeah, so Fridays if you ask me questions on Friday during class, I'll charge.
Wait, am I gonna be charged for all the questions I've asked in class thus far? Who do I talk to about dropping out?
So, I'm not gonna charge you this time because you haven't signed the contract yet. So starting Monday is when this policy is gonna start.
And I would talk to my guidance counselor about dropping out.
If you or when you have this conversation with your guidance counselor, it should probably start with I'm ready to end my economic career. I'm ready to lose all economic potential. I'm ready to give up the rest of my life because I couldn't pay some goofy ass fee. So if you're still like a high school like child, honestly, and you're still kind of complaining to mommy and daddy about paying all these fees.
I am a senior, and this is a 4,000 level class.
I know it's
I didn't realize there was going to be this big of a...
I know, but hopefully you should have gotten the hint from Introduction to Worker Exploitation, Economics 3500, that this was coming. So if you just weren't, Dylan, I know you're slow. I know that you're slow. I'm going to see you in office hours, but you should have caught on by now that the fees were going to start stacking up sooner or later.
Congratulations, Austin. Because of the fact you're taking Brian's S&P and M 4269, you're also taking MT 1015, and you are also taking English 2187, as well as teaching this course. I have not found any conflictions with your current obligations to any of these courses. So I was looking through. I was looking through all the syllabi. It doesn't look like any of them conflict with your office hours or your course time. So congratulations, you've made it work.
It's very convenient. Then most of my office hours are in the dead of night.
Okay, right. Austin, that was incredible. I fucking love that presentation. That was so funny. That was so funny.
By the way, if you were a white male, the class is $2,810 at a minimum.
Hold on. How much was it? It was 2,000 something.
2,810 about.
Okay, so close to 3,000.
I added a cent to all of the things.
Hold on. Pause. I'm not done with the presentation. Last call for questions. I won't bite. Okay, that's it for me. Have a good weekend. See you Monday. Do not contact me on the weekend.
Wait, you said the first time that you told us that, you said it was going to be the one and only time that it was going to be free. Is that last slide? Do we have to pay $5 for that?
We haven't signed the thing yet. In fact,
after we sign the thing, will we then immediately be charged for every question that we have asked during class? And
we could contact him this weekend for free.
Yeah,
we haven't signed it. It's not due until Monday.
Well, realize that once you sign,
do we get charged retroactively?
Yeah, you will be charged retroactively. So I've been recording this, and Max has been recording it for me for free. I'm just gonna see who asked what.
You didn't say for free.
I'm gonna probably start charging.
It's actually gonna be $2,810.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna charge, and the prices per question will have to be adjusted based on Max's fee.
Oh my god. Okay. I think I'm gonna be dropping out.
Crazy. I will see you in the soup line.
My luck class.
Okay. Why are you attending the soup line?
I'm gonna go to the soup line to laugh at your homeless ass because your homeless self, because you are not gonna you can't survive in this economy if you don't take my class. If you don't know these skills, you are not hustling. You are not hustling.
Yeah, this is I think my favorite assignment out of all. This was really fun.
This was a really good assignment. Your execution of the assignment was really good. All around, just applause.
That's right. That's why I said this one was probably my favorite one to go through because it was just so funny trying to figure out how can I scam you guys out of money like at every opportunity.
Brian had like a conceptually very interesting class. Max had a class that I would legitimately attend.
True.
I got to go off on. I got to tell you guys about the magic system I made like 4 years ago, and then fucking Austin.
Thanks for watching. Go ahead and give us ideas on what we should do next.